This week on the show, we have Kristen Butler, the CEO and founder of The Power of Positivity. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for watching. This show's all about giving you insights and showcasing brands that help you to live your best life and give you confidence. As always, I want to kickstart your morning with some motivational advice to help you to feel inspired and energized to start your day. Today, I want to talk about understanding that your inner conversations shape your reality. Every moment, our brains are thinking a million different thoughts, some good, some bad. In fact, the average person thinks more than 6,000 thoughts per day. Out of those thoughts, around 90% of those thoughts are repetitive, meaning we are thinking the same recycled thoughts every single day. This is why it's important to be conscious of your inner conversations and to feed your mind thoughts that feel good and make you feel empowered. Repetition creates new neural pathways in the brain, so repeating a thought over and over creates a new way of thinking, which in turn changes our perception of life. One of my favorite thoughts is saying to myself, I am so lucky, everything always works out for me. Not only does this thought make you feel good, but it has no choice to show up in your reality because the repetition of this thought over time becomes one of your dominant set of beliefs. Make your mission today to start being mindful of your inner conversations and start telling yourself statements that empower you. Making small shifts in your thinking drastically changes your perception of reality to see life through a cup half full rather than a cup half empty. As Dr. Wayne Dyer quotes, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Stay tuned. Coming up after the break. And in your books, you talk about expanding out of your comfort zone. And I think that's a problem that so many of us have is having trouble with that, right? So what is your advice for someone to break free from old patterns?
Thanks for asking me that because I love talking about it. Expanding my comfort zone was really key in my healing and transformation. I was always a person that believed, let's get out of your comfort zone if you want success. But that's really how I burnt out. And so I like to advocate for expanding your comfort zone. When I was at my rock bottom, I really wasn't in a comfort zone. I wasn't comfortable. I was just surviving. I was anxious. And to heal, I had to ask myself, what feels safe? What feels good right now? And then from that foundation of understanding what was comfortable to me in that place, I could begin stretching. And it's kind of like, stretching your muscles, right? You can stretch to expand your comfort zone and add things in that's, at your own pace. And that can look like, trying a new exercise or journaling when you're, feeling down, maybe trying a new food.
Wardrobe provided by Le Chateau. Next up on the show, we have Kristen Butler, the CEO and founder of The Power of Positivity, that has a community of over 50 million followers. Kristen is also a best-selling author with a mission to uplift the planet. Kristen, thank you so much for being on the show today. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. We have so much to talk about, including your amazing brand, The Power of Positivity. I know it has a following of over 50 million, but before we talk about that, let's take it back to the beginning. I know that in 2007, you had quoted that you felt that God had forgotten you. So tell us about that period in your life.
Wow. Yeah. When I grew up, it was in a small town in Pennsylvania. My mom was on welfare, and so life wasn't easy. And through those challenges, I really had to lean into God. I always felt like even through hard things, He always had my back. But then in my early 20s, it was like I hit rock bottom. I actually had built this very successful business. I put all of my energy into it, and it was so successful I couldn't even keep up with it that I totally lost it. And at the same time, I went to the doctor and, I was having health problems and they told me, you're never going to have children. And I had really wanted to have children. And I just felt like early 20s, everything was falling apart. And I'd always felt like God had my back. But in that moment, through it all, I just thought that maybe I had failed too much, that God forgot about me, or that I just wasn't good enough. But the truth was that He didn't forget about me, right? It was like He was crafting me in that moment, and we don't always see it in that moment. And so I really had to lean into my worthiness coming from him, and that my failures were actually, setups. But in the moment, I just didn't feel like that. I felt like he forgot about me.
Thank you for sharing that because I feel a lot of people feel like that at some point in their lives, right? And
Yeah.
then we look back and we realize it was all part of a divine plan to make us grow. So I appreciate you sharing that. And I know that you had called your husband and said that you didn't want to live at a period in your life. W- what sparked hope at that time?
Yeah, wow. Darriel, that was probably one of the hardest days of my life. And so I did call my husband. I was anxious. I was depressed. I couldn't get out of bed. And I just told him I didn't want to live anymore. And the truth is, he was so concerned. He had never seen me like that he actually reported it. And I did get evaluated by a therapist. But truthfully, that was probably one of the best moments for me because I had a therapist that finally saw me, and she validated my pain that I had been carrying from childhood. And so, you know, at that breaking point, I really got there from everything that I was tolerating, everything that I was holding on to. And there was this one really powerful moment for me when she had compared me to, I don't know if you've ever seen it, Marilyn in the Munsters. She is this. Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's like this old sitcom back in the day. Oh my gosh. And it was just reruns when I was a kid. And so there was this house full of monsters and this one woman. And so she was human. And so she was positive, she was kind. But they thought that she was like the wrong one, right? And so she felt so different all the time. And I had felt like that. And so when she made that comparison, it just clicked. And I realized, like, I'm not broken, like I'm just different, and the different is good. And so at that time I really felt like it helped me reconnect with the positivity that I had within me that I just kind of disconnected from.
I love that. And fast forward, you were the founder of The Power of Positivity, which has a following of over 50 million. You also have a bunch of best-selling books. And I know that you have a mission to inspire the globe. So tell us about that mission.
It's been 16 years in the making, but the
Oh.
mission has always just been to uplift the planet through positivity. I had transformed my entire life through positive thinking and positive habits. And so I knew that anyone can do it if I could. And so it really just started out as a Facebook page. I just wanted to help people. I wanted to share what was working for me. And it grew. After 4 years, I had a friend that said, hey, Kristen, do you know you can monetize this and you could do it as like a full-time gig? And I really had no idea. And I didn't even think about it. I was just loving what I was doing and building this community. And so I kind of leaned into that because I did want to start doing that full time. And yeah, fast forward to now, like I said, it's been 16 years and I have books and courses and I do coaching. And so I just really feel like when we can get our mindset under control, that anything can happen.
Absolutely. And I'm a big fan of your page, by the way. My whole feed is all positive content because I do feel that social media can sometimes be really negative and make you not feel great, right? So I like to fill my page and my feed with all positive content to sometimes it's just something small as reading a quote and you feel better, right? So I love what you're doing. I think you're doing amazing work.
Oh, thank you.
And in your books, you talk about expanding out of your comfort zone. And I think that's a problem that so many of us have is having trouble with that, right? So what is your advice for someone to break free from old patterns?
Thanks for asking me that because I love talking about it. Expanding my comfort zone was really key in my healing and transformation. I was always a person that believed, let's get out of your comfort zone if you want success. But that's really how I burnt out. And so I like to advocate for expanding your comfort zone. When I was at my rock bottom, I really wasn't in a comfort zone. I wasn't comfortable. I was just surviving. I was anxious. And to heal, I had to ask myself, what feels safe? What feels good right now? And then from that foundation of understanding what was comfortable to me in that place, I could begin stretching. And it's kind of like, stretching your muscles, right? You can stretch to expand your comfort zone and add things in that's, at your own pace. And that can look like, you know, trying a new exercise or journaling when you're, feeling down, maybe trying a new food, having a difficult conversation with someone, but it's necessary to grow and to heal that. There's so many different things that we're experiencing. And if we just take it one step at a time and try it with one little tool or tip at a time, it's really going to help us build confidence that we can grow when we're comfortable. We don't have to just be stressed and anxious all the time and feel uncomfortable to actually grow. We want to grow from a place of safety and not stress, right?
Absolutely. I love that. I like that you say expanding your comfort zone because I feel like that's more tangible, taking little steps like that, opposed to just sometimes it's overwhelming when we just try to get out of our comfort zone completely, right? That could be overwhelming. But I like that you said taking these little steps because I think that's something we can all do. Maybe, take a class or read a book or go to a networking class or whatever it is. It's those little steps, right? And I like that you said expanding the comfort zone. I think that's very important. And I know that you had debilitating anxiety at a time. How did you cope with that?
Affirmations were really key and deep breathing exercises for me. Often when I was getting anxious, I was overthinking about things that really weren't important or weren't even true, right? I'm like prophesizing the future that's not really even going to happen. I'm not even sure of it. Or I'm not taking enough deep breaths, right? I need to like pause. I even do this between meetings and I just focus on my breath, focus on a few good affirmations or the way that I want my day to go. And it really helps in so many stressful situations.
Absolutely. I love affirmations. I say them the first thing in the morning, and I feel like when I don't, I mean, my days is just a lot better when I say them because it kind of programs my mind for the day. So what are some of your favorite affirmations and how do you feel like they program the mind for success?
Yeah, I believe that we're always affirming things in our life, and whether we believe it or not, and they're usually negative. And so I like to kind of grab that negative thought right away and then flip it. So I
Yeah.
dealt with a lot of worthiness issues. So a
Mm,
core one for me is I am enough as I am. Like,
yeah.
especially as a high achiever, I need to know, like, no matter what, I am enough as I am. Also, I love everything is always working out for me
Mm,
because in the moment, it might not feel like it through that challenge. It never really does for anyone. But if you can affirm that it's working out for you, the outcome is usually better than you expected, right? I also love kind of claiming and calling abundance in. And so abundance is always available to me every day. It's just a great way to think about wealth in every area of your life, not just like financially, but, spiritually and mentally and physically.
I love that. And people don't realize that just repeating an affirmation all day, you create new neural pathways in your mind, and that's how new thoughts happen, right? So it's something simple, but I think it's something so tangible for people is just saying affirmations, when they have a bad day over and over. And it definitely helps. So I love that. And as well as being the CEO of The Power of Positivity, you also have best-selling books. So tell us about some of the books you have and how they can empower people.
Oh, thank you so much. Wow, I think I've got 5 books right now so
Wow.
far, and I'm writing a sixth one next year on gratitude, and so I just love writing. And I would say one of the most popular ones I have is still my first one. It's called 3 Minute Positivity Journal. I think that people really find it useful because it is the tools that I used to transform my life. So there's gratitude in there, affirmations, there's a quote, there's a little action prompt for you. And what's so easy about it is that it's 3 minutes in the morning and then 3 minutes in the afternoon or evening. And so starting your day in a positive way just is so effective. And there's so much science behind that. And then again, ending your day in a positive way helps you get better sleep so that you can have a better day the next day. And so it's just this beautiful positive ripple effect. And so if you're not sure where to start, I would say even just picking that book up is really helpful to help just start positive daily habits.
I love that. You know what? Gratitude is so important. And I think so many times we all focus on all the bad stuff that's happening in our lives, and we forget to focus on all the amazing things, right, that life has to offer. And I think when we do focus on that, our reality changes because we start bringing in more good things. So I love that you have these journals that help people to focus on gratitude. So that's great. And Kristen, I want to ask you, a lot of people think that failure is final, but
Mm.
it's part of the journey. How do you think failure has played a part in your success?
Yeah, when we're going through it, it does feel like that, right? For me personally, I used to see failure like it was a reflection of my worth. Like I said, I was a high achiever, and I thought that if I failed, then I was just a failure. But over time, I learned that that's not true. My worth is not tied to what I do. It's a foundation. It's just already there. It's a given. And this failure, it's just feedback. And so thinking of it in that way, just, oh my gosh, it just really helped me. It helped me to preserve my worth. It helped me to take failure less serious because it's like, okay, I'm going through this. I didn't fail, but I can just learn from it and do it better. And so it
Mhm.
makes it a little bit more of a game than taking it so personal. I've just learned so many lessons from so much failure that I feel like we take it too seriously.
Absolutely. It is part of the journey. I think I've had more failure than I've had success, but all of that failure was essential for me to get where I am because if I didn't fail, then I wouldn't have learned, right? So it
Yeah.
is
Oh my gosh.
essential in the process. And I like that you said not taking it personal because I think so many people will take it personal, but it isn't. It is part of the journey. It's essential. And if you could see the growth in it, then, it's a win-win, right?
Oh my gosh. So true. Well said.
And Kristen, I created my platform to inspire, to uplift, and just to showcase that anything is possible. So for anyone out there that is maybe depressed, not feeling good, not feeling motivated, what would you say to inspire and uplift them?
Mm. Wow, that's so good. I think that if you're feeling sad, stuck, depressed, you're not alone. I mean, we're human. This is part of our human experience. All of us have been there for one thing or another. And so, feel your feelings. They're valid. And I think that's really the first step is just like knowing that it's okay and not shaming yourself, but then knowing that you can progress through it with just one small step. So, going in a forward direction is everything. And that can even look like in the moment, taking deep breaths, like I mentioned. That's everything because that can stop like all the spiraling that's happening when you're feeling like that. Even for me, sometimes I need to hydrate or I need to eat something or I need to just get outside
Mhm.
and go for a walk. Sometimes it's not always that simple, but when we compound these smaller steps and just build it in as a consistent habit, we generally are going to feel happier more throughout our life just by building this kind of like self-care routine, knowing that life is full of challenges. There's stresses that we can't always prevent, but that's okay. We have these like buffers that can kind of back us when we're going through those hard times. Things
Mhm.
aren't going to be perfect. And I think a lot of people are hard on themselves and they expect perfection. And that's not part of what we teach at the Power of Positivity. And so just keep going and find something to be grateful for through it.
Absolutely. I love that you said that it's okay to feel negative emotions. We're human. We're supposed to feel those things, but there's always a direction forward as long as we remind ourselves that, yes, we're sad. Yes, we'll have moments that we feel defeated, but there's always a way forward. So I like that you said that. And Kristen, for all of our viewers that want to know more about the power of positivity and your journey, where could they do so and join the community?
Oh, thank you. I love Instagram. So at Power of Positivity on Instagram or at Positive Kristen on Instagram. You can also go to powerofpositivity.com. We have all kinds of resources around the site, books, courses, coaching, all kinds of things, depending on what you're interested in.
Amazing. Kristen, thank you so much for being on the show today. We're going to link that information for our viewers to check it out. And thank you so much, and keep up the amazing work.
Oh, thank you so much. You have an awesome show. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The Darriel Roy Show is available on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts.